Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our guest for like the next hours will be like the general in chief of the Famous Fox Federation, Draxxts. I can't wait to talk to him. I have so many questions about like Famous Fox Federation and all of the tools they're gonna build for this year and like how he's seeing the industry and all of that. But before doing that, let me talk to you a little bit about Decod3rs first. So basically, we are like a community-owned, decentralized and community-owned YouTube channel. And for every video that you watch on this channel, you will get rewarded for it. The way it works is pretty straightforward. Like for, again, every video, we are going to mint the thumbnail, raffle them. And if you win the raffle, you will get the ownership of the video and get entitled to a percentage of its revenue generated from the video and the channel in general. So if that's, by doing that, we're going to align like the creators economy into the Web3 content creation. And yeah, that's basically the main thesis of the project. So if you are interested by that, click on the subscribe button. That's the best thing you can do. And yeah, that's because it will be mandatory for our upcoming mint in probably Q2. So that's all about Decod3rs. Let's welcome Draxxts and start the show. What's up, homie? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
All good, man. Yeah, I had like a nice day again in the Web3 life. It's perfect.
I don't know what do you mean a nice day?
A nice day. Like yeah, just enjoying my Web3 degen life, man.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Yeah, we've been plugging away at the new Metaplex pNFT stuff. Has been quite fun for a lot of the tools that we have. So
nice. That's good. So yeah.
Been a busy week.
Yeah, that's nice. So you went away like from your computer to meet some real people in real life?
Wait, what do you mean I went away from my computer? Oh, you mean for this?
Oh yeah, no. No. For the event. Sorry, maybe I misunderstood.
No. Yeah, no. The Metaplex pNFT standard of just of us just like modifying our tools. Yeah.
Completely misunderstood it. That's gonna be a
no event yet.
Are you going to NFT Paris or NFT NYC?
NFT NYC, I'll be at.
Nice.
Still figuring out like to what capacity and all the fun shit. Like we'll be hosting different things or being involved with it. But yeah, Paris is a little too far. Right now, I have an 18-month-old daughter. My wife's pregnant, so we have to try to figure out like finding the right balance of things. Yeah, thank you. So,
but that's good. I'm gonna see you at NFT NYC then.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure I might have saw you last year. Were you at NYC last year?
No. I miss it. And after seeing all of the tweets, etc., like I said, okay, next year I'm going and I'm going.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I said about Breakpoint too. I don't know if I'll make Breakpoint this year only because of our baby coming. So I'll have to figure that out and if I can try and convince my wife one way or another. But yeah, the live events are a blast. I'm guessing you've been to some of the hacker houses and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, great network. Good way of meeting people in the space, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, and having a baby is a nice excuse to skip one or two events, right?
I mean, I don't know about that. Having a baby as a founder, it's it's a lot of figuring out the work-life balance between the two. I think that's a very critical thing.
But that's why you have like a skill and a competent team behind your back, right?
Oh yeah.
So you can take care of your family.
Plus my daughter, she sleeps like 12 hours a night, so it's
that's good.
I can't complain about it. I promise you. Yeah. I can do things like this then when it's darker.
Yeah. That's good. She's sleeping for you, right? Like like the average time. Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, like it's really great, like for you to like even like spend 1 hour with me, like on the channel and with the chat on the chat, like with all of the people from the chat. It's good. Like Draxxts is a legend.
I see a lot of Foxes representing. I know too. I think a couple of people were mentioning that their like live stream account is like doxy for them, so they didn't want to type in it, which is funny. But they still can come in here and heckle me to some capacity. I'm sure. In our Fox Discord, they're probably going back and forth with each other of what to put in here to to try and.
But that's good. And man, I love your T-shirt, man. That's a nice representation for the brand.
Yeah, I got Foxy Dev on there in his capacity.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife. There were a couple of people I think that kind of have like the design idea for it. My wife just like really wanted to create a shirt where a pocket was like kind of covering it, so it's all innocent on the outside, and then
that's
you can reveal at any point in time. It was very popular at NFT NYC. It's popular here, especially on certain days and times to wear it and represent Foxy Dev. So yeah, gotta represent.
Yeah. Exactly. Foxy Dev we trust.
Foxy Dev we trust. Yeah, exactly. So funny.
And when merch for babies?
What's that?
When merch for babies? Yeah.
Enough people have asked me that I think we probably will do something. Like seriously, like it has to be fun and clever, right? I think at the end of the day, people don't just want like a famous Fox logo or Foxy Dev on like a baby onesie, but I think there could be something fun. And like the tricky part too with baby clothes that most people in this chat probably don't even know is like they grow out of them in like a week, so having a variety that you offer and stuff like that could be a little challenging.
Yeah, but if they grow from week to week, that's good for merch, right? Because you sell more. See?
True. It's either you sell more or you end up with a ton of inventory because people don't buy it. It's a double-edged sword.
No, that's good. So yeah. 100%. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but like also on the we have a giveaway for like all Fox FFF holders on the Discord. If you join like the Decod3rs Discord, we have like connected to Matricia, so it will detect your Fox, and you can enter the giveaway in the FFF channel. And at the end of the live, we will pick someone from this giveaway. So yeah, awesome. Please enter our Discord.
What's that?
And comment.
What are you guys giving away? It's 10K Foxy, right?
10K Foxy, yes, okay, sir.
Awesome. So that's for those of you that aren't in the Foxy ecosystem, you can get a tail for free. Yes. You can get either one of the T1 upgrades for the current famous Foxes or the soon-to-be transdimensional Foxes once we get those rolled out. So pretty solid prize for anyone that jumps in there.
Nice. Appreciate that. See? So, like, yeah, and you have to watch the entirety of the show. I'm joking. They just need to comment. Oh, so yeah, if you see any comments like I love you, Drax, that's why.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, okay. So we can I can start to ask you questions. So like I want to know everything and like increase my bullishness on the FFF. Disclaimer, I have like 3 FFF and 4 TFF that I won on the Raffle website.
You won them all on Raffle?
Yes, but bro, I spent way too much dust.
Oh, so wait, was that like early stages of Raffle when everyone was using dust for it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'd venture to guess, based off of the time, you are way ahead, right? I mean, I don't know what the total amount of dust was that you spent, but in a comparison, USDC value wise,
yeah, probably close to 10K dust or something.
Okay,
maybe even more.
Okay, you're wild.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Like that's what I like, the story of like using a product to get more NFTs and like entering the collection. That's cool. So
I mean, and that's like part of like what we've created with Foxes, which is really cool. Like at its core, we're not just like all Fox things, right? We don't want to silo ourselves to like only accept Foxy and Soul for whatever we have. Enabling communities, very well, like enabling other communities to, be able to take advantage and, for what the price is massive, for what it would take to recreate what we have for the kind of costs that we charge, to get like a token onboarded. I mean, collections we onboard for free as long as they meet certain requirements. It's massive for them. So I love that about how we've created, Foxes, because it really does, a lot of better for the ecosystem as a whole, and at the same time, people that are involved, are the ones that are also kind of making out with it too.
Yeah, And like there's a huge like product market fit with like the Raffle website, right? Because like the
Huge.
whole ecosystem is using it. Like
Yeah.
that's the place to go. And even like before, like where with my previous project, like Westlanders, like I didn't need to code like a Raffle website because you accepted like the Westlanders token right away, right? It was in the early days, so I got lucky, so I could like skip the volume, etc. So I can.
Well, even
But,
I mean, even right now,
yeah.
I mean, it might be a little pricey for people, but it's like 20
Yeah.
Sol that we charge to onboard
Yeah.
for a raffle, and auction is included for it. So,
Yeah.
Sol's price like $500. For someone to recreate that, if you can do it for $500 or cheaper, go with that option. But
not happening.
It'd be hard. Yeah, it's not happening. It'd be hard pressed to
not
find
happening.
that, for sure.
Yeah. No, 100%. So yeah, like honestly, like what you have built with the whole ecosystem. Again, like Foxy, there is not all like the Raffle website, but also like Foxy Swap, Foxy Send, like all of those tools. That's why, man, bro.
Token
just
market,
saying that I should buy more.
But our token market too, we've cracked 720K Sol volume on token market. And I was going to say we're probably pretty close, like the 1 year anniversary on that too. That was like early February of 22 that we created the token market. So that alone, I mean, from an opportunity standpoint, is 720K Sol that didn't exist from a transaction standpoint, or it might have been more slippage, more scams, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of, amplifying that meta of whitelist tokens and SPL tokens, and because people don't have to have pools, liquidity pools, and all that kind of fun stuff for their own communities. They can just have a token, have an order book. We can onboard a token into that in 30 seconds. It's super efficient, and covers again the ecosystem to be able to kind of like enable creators, and it goes further, with like traits. For like DJ and Trash Pandas, we onboarded some of their tokens, so then they can create a market if they want to sell them, and all that fun stuff. It just like amplifies these metas, and at the same time, really does better for the ecosystem than just for our project.
And do you use it yourself, like to buy whitelist token,
Yeah, well, whitelist tokens haven't been like super hot recently. For me, like within our ecosystem, I've been using it recently to be a little degenerate on the rare chests that we have for our missions. So the way that it works, and hopefully you are partaking to some capacity, but for Foxes, we have like a gamified staking where you can go get these rewards for missions. Standard missions give standard chests. They're somewhere around 0.4 Sol. But the raids that we do about every other week, the chests for those have better rewards, or at least better percentages for better rewards. And I got lucky with one, earlier on, and somebody had reached out to me recently, which I was impressed that they, did the sleuthing to figure out that I owned a thing. And I did some backward math EV calculation on how much I think I'd have to spend to get another one. And I'm putting our own RNG to the test for doing it. Good. So I have an order out there. No one spilled any of it, even though I've been trying to convince people. I bought my own. We did after our VC. After we did our VC actually on this weekend. I did one rare chest for somebody. We tend to give out chests for free at the end of our voice chats, just to as a thank you for coming by and hanging out. I did a rare chest at the end for somebody, and they got a Famous Fox gem, which the market value is somewhere between 25 to 30 Sol. So they came listen for an hour to me drone on, and they get free 25 to 30 Sol prize. But I was mad because that wasn't one of my rare chests. That was a rare chest I opened for somebody else. So then I opened 16 rare chests after, and I got mediocre prizes. It wasn't amazing, but it was just hilarious. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like if I just, didn't give out that rare chest, like maybe I would have got another gem for myself or something. Would have been hilarious. But if I got two almost back to back, people would call it rigged. So there's a fine balance between getting rewards and just being a degen.
You have to sacrifice your luck to looks legit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it not just to sacrifice it to look legit. It is legit.
Of course. I'm joking. But yeah, it's like the people who buy like one ticket per raffle, and I won like 500, like 300, 100 sold NFT, right? That's cool.
I love that. I know it's probably like a shitty thing to say, but I love when that happens, just because it's like it's not always pay to win, and the max capacity that we set up for being able to buy tickets for a raffle is 20%. So like even at that point, right, there's an 80% chance that you're not going to win it if it fills. And one of the more recent like partnerships that we did was with the Utes Nouns, where they have their own raffle page.
Nice.
And we set that up because I'm well connected within the Utes Nouns team, and they were like, oh, you got to buy a ticket. You got to buy a ticket. I'm like, listen, with my luck, I'm going to buy one ticket. But if I win, like, there's going to be so much FUD that I want a fucking Utes Noun for one ticket, just because, like, these guys are pressuring me to support them. I want to support them. It's our platform, but I don't want to be like fudded for winning. I didn't win, fortunately, and I did buy one ticket, but I just told them that like that's going to be my luck, and fortunately I didn't win, and I didn't get fudded for that. But yeah, I love when from the DGen side, I love the low odds and the chance at winning for like the one ticket. Obviously, it comes at the cost for someone that's doing like a 20% or whatever along those lines too. But over time, it's a numbers game, and so based off of whatever your risk to reward is, I've had people complain that they've won, 4 out of 100 raffles, and I look at it and like they bought one ticket on 100 raffles. Like, okay, you're doing good. Like your percentages for winning should be around the 2%, and you're at 4%. Like, what are you complaining about? It might not be from a USDC value, greater than what you had spent, but that's just based off of the ones you're picking. So it's a very interesting tool and a very interesting opportunity for people. That's quite fun to watch.
It can be like life-changing luck and raffle for some people that don't have like a huge bag, but like they bet on like the high prices NFTs. Even if I don't know if you don't have a deep pocket like to play a lot of raffles, if it's a winning strategy. But like it happened. Like you can see the tweet, and like sometimes like people with one ticket get one DeGod, and I can imagine that's change a lot of things for them.
Oh yeah, cool. Especially for some of the rarer ones. Some of like the mythic DeGods and stuff like that. Function did a 101 Ute. I don't know if he did one or two of them. It's just crazy. And to be able to win that, for a fraction, even if it costs you 20%, it's still a massive win for people. So it's fun. It's 100%. Degenerate.
Exactly.
I play raffles at your own risk. But yeah, I love it. I think it's just so fun, and it's just what we need, honestly, in like the current market conditions from
100%.
So
that's good. And what excites you the most about like Famous Fox, like right now, or like what's coming?
The thing that excites me right now, in all honesty, is just like how vibrant our community is. At the end of it, right? Like no project would exist if they didn't have a community, and that's said across all blockchains, all whatever. Especially if you look at kind of tactics that are happening, in the cross blockchain space. And just to be able to create what we've created and still have opportunities for people to, leverage us as a platform for whatever they're doing is fantastic. Marmalade is a one-on-one artist marketplace. I recently have supported like Mick on there. We have a ton of people that go in and do these requests for getting one-off pieces or gifts, especially around like Christmas and stuff like that. So it gives a platform for artists to be able to get exposure and to possibly, get some work. Like I said, token market, depending on what the meta is with whitelist tokens or other tokens people are involved in. Raffles, if you're a seller, and you want to get involved in that side, maybe a little bit of buying. And then if you're a creator, like recently, Klanos had did their airdrop for Clay. They used our snapshot tool to snapshot all their holders and send out Clay to all their individual holders. We had to add to our tool because we hadn't taken into consideration multi-sig wallets for it. But it's just another way that we're able to enable, the community as a whole, depending on what you're trying to do. And I love that about what we've created within Foxes. But again, like our community, showing up here means a lot. Being in Discord all the time, it's just something that I look forward to jumping in and messing around. And we have like a running inside joke too for what's called platypodes, which was like OG art that was going to be foxes. We had eventually transitioned to foxes, but they're platypuses, and people have been having a lot of fun with that recently too. And it's just these little things that, like, during a shitty market, I mean, because even though we're 3x off of the floor price at its lowest, it's still a relatively shitty market, like, as a whole, right? We're nowhere close to all-time highs, and looking at like volume and things per transaction, so close. Volume and transactions and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like, people just need something. So it's a lot of fun to kind of be a part of. How about you? What excites you right now in the NFT space?
It's like, like, I like to see the builders that are staying, like the people who are like still it's a meme almost, but like still active on Twitter and like still like creating a new project and initiate like a new connection, etc. Right now, it's like if they are able to survive like 1 year, 2 years like that in those market conditions, like they will strive during like the next bull run, and it will coming back like hopefully at the before after, like close to the Bitcoin halving. Like the history repeat itself at least, hopefully. Yeah. But like the people that are in crypto right now and even more in NFTs, that they can be the superheroes tomorrow, right? So that's what's exciting me, and also obviously like building this channel and like I'm gonna pitch for myself, but like again, like having the time to talk to founders right now, because they can have a break, they can start to sleep more, and they can do podcasts on small channels, which is cool. And all of that like activity right now, it's still interesting for me.
Yeah, and you, I mean, you're pretty well connected too in the space. I mean, Decod3rs, are pretty well connected in the space too. So
that's why.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
That's also like the what I'm trying to build, like joining like the ABC Ventures, like Blocksmith, Valhalla, all of that, like DeGods, etc. Can't wait to join like the famous Fox Ventures part of it. That would be cool. How many foxes do I need to buy to get there?
I don't know. I mean, we've never really discussed, like, we've never been of the ethos, I would say. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think like Monkey Baby Business might have been one of the earlier projects that had like these ranks associated with how many you own.
Okay.
I've always found like that concept to be interesting, but to try to figure out a way in which it's not like gamified to a degree where once someone owns, let's say, call it 10% of the supply. I mean that can really screw over a project for a lot of different reasons. So it's a long way of me saying that. I don't know, from a holding side, how many gets you into like an exclusive group or anything along those lines, from like a whales category. But it's definitely an interesting concept, especially for larger collections.
Yes,
as to how you can kind of leverage that.
I think, like owning 10% of a collection of like a 10K collection, that's a shitload. But like, it's also based on the price of like the NFT itself, right? So if you have like, again, believers that hold your collection, even if their portfolio in your collection is like getting over like 6 or 7 figures, that's an interesting group dynamics that you put in place for them. And like, there is like that. What I like with this group is like we start to do like venture, like business angel activities now all together, and that's part of the NFT ecosystem that I'm like becoming like start to experiment, and I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it kind of shakes out. I'll say over like the next 5 years, right? I think that's traditionally that's how I've always looked at. I'm never like a 3-month lookout. I'm more sort of a 5-year lookout. But I'm very curious from like I don't know if you would call it like like small VC. It's not even a VC. It's like amateur VCs or something along those lines.
It's
You know what I
business
mean?
angel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
I'm
business
wondering.
angel that you can find in Web2. Like, yeah, I can tell you that in 5 years, if we're
Yeah.
all broke because we have done shitty investment together.
I mean, we'll all at least have JPEG, so there's
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, we go to zero, but at least we have the JPEG. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny though.
That's great, man. And like, how did you like back to the tooling like you have on FFF? Like, how do you decide to build a GIF maker, like a banner maker, or like even like Raffle? Like, how do you identify the need of the ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So some of the more like simple things like the banner maker
Mm-hmm.
and gift maker, we actually had those created very shortly after we minted. It was just
Yes.
one of those things where people were asking like, can I get a better Twitter banner? Can I do this? And people were making their own and then they were kind of just like all over their place. And there's nothing wrong with creating your own and being all over the place, but if like people wanted to have a consistent representation, like we could just slap something together, have you throw your PFP in it, and boom, you got yourself a banner. So we just kind of made those for fun. Tools like Raffle, tools like our very first tool, Foxy Swap, it more so was kind of looking at the pain points of the market, and what we could do to make it fun, or more efficient or useful. So Foxy Swap, as an example, I mean, people were reaching out to us like, hey, can you middleman a trade? And I'm like, I've got better things to do with my time than to middleman a trade, realistically, right? And sometimes too, like they're willing to pay you some level of money depending on what it's for. I mean, how much it is. It's a premium to pay for security. And we're like, this is dumb. Like, let's just save time and money and create a swapping platform. If people want to trade JPEGs, they can trade JPEGs. If they want to add SOL to one side, they can add SOL to one side. If they want to have, a 5-for-1 swap, you can do up to 6 NFTs in a transaction. You can add SOL on one side or the other. And, you can kind of curate these trades however you want to do it. And, it's been very successful. It's had varying levels of engagement within the community based off of different reasons. Which I think are more so from a community side or from a project side, not necessarily understanding or kind of paying attention more so to the community as a whole. That's probably a whole hour-long topic that we could probably go on for. But at its core, I mean, all our other products, token market, we spun up an MVP within 48 hours after Big Brain tweeted out that he was looking to try to get a specific whitelist token. We had $1 million worth of sales on that platform in the first week. We knew there was a demand for it. A lot of our other tools as well, like we get community feedback. We say, what do you guys want us to build? And then, based off of what they say, we talk amongst ourselves. Does it make sense for us to have it as a platform? Do we think there's demand for it? Is there a way we can get external reach from it? And then we go and build it. And that's been very successful for us. If you look at, metrics and stuff for daily active users, across the board and all the things that we have, it really speaks for itself. But it's really very community driven, even though it's not like a traditional, not like an actual DAO. I wouldn't say traditional. Most traditional DAOs aren't DAOs, but it's not like an actual DAO. But we do get a lot of community influence, and I would comfortably say 2/3, if not 3/4, of our tools have been community influenced for us creating them.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so you basically take like both approach where like it's business driven and community driven, which is like the good recipe for success, right? And like again, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it's perfect for like the way that Web3 is. I think that's the one thing that a lot of people meme about, because from a business standpoint, they've never created an actual business to try to understand, product fit and such. Like, it's one thing to make a pizza shop in a location where there's no pizza shops, right? It's like, there'll be demand because there's no other pizza shops close by. People want pizza on a Friday night, they're going to go to your pizza shop. But it's another thing where like you're trying to figure out, I mean, I want to make Amazon. I mean, now that we know Amazon exists, where the fuck do you start? And can you compete with Amazon if you're going for that model? Like, what would people actually want? Do they need another Amazon? And then figuring out from there, like, how do I make this thing actually work? It's way different in Web3 than it is in Web2. And we have direct connection to people with problems, whatever they are, if they're simple, if they're complex, and us being able to kind of build it out to fill that niche. They're not the only person with that problem, and we're a very small, capable team to be able to do it. And that's what I would akin a majority of our success to, is being able to get direct feedback before we even make a tool, and then make the tool the best tool out there, and then just drive it to people, show them what it's about, and improve on it, until people just keep using it day in and day out. And and that's basically
and it works pretty great, like, because like even like you share publicly like the revenue stream that generated from your tools, right? And like it's crazy. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 40K or 80K a week generated,
we were, the highest I think I saw was like 123 in a week, so 123K in a week. But yeah, I think right now it's probably somewhere around 80 something. Ebb and flows based off of markets as a whole. Yeah. It's massive, especially in the market that we're in.
No, that's
realistically, and it's not, it's not driven from like a B2B model. It's P2P for a lot of things within the ecosystem. And it's, we're not VC backed. We're bootstrapped from its absolute core. So it's just a way to kind of enable us to be able to, grow our brand from where we're at. Now we have, more funds to kind of, I wouldn't say be dangerous with. We're definitely still very conscious of the market as a whole, but just making sure that, we do better strategic moves for the future to make the brand bigger, and ultimately, make our community, even stronger and larger, and, more desired, and all that kind of fun stuff.
And what can you tell me about that? Like, don't worry, like there is no one, it's not recorded. Like you can just give me the alpha, bro.
What's that?
Just
for what's
like
what specifically?
No, like what you're saying, like the what you're building in the future, like to prepare the future. I want to know more about that.
Well, the one thing, I mean, that I'll talk a little bit about, and I'll say that the dev Loki is mad that I let the cat out of the bag with it, for a couple of reasons. I think the first reason is like he doesn't like to have like undue pressure. I mean, and just in case, market sentiment changes, or we something else important comes up like Metaplex this week. That can kind of have a damper on our plans, like that we're not like over promising and under delivering. Not that we've ever traditionally done that, but that's just not the way that we function. But we're working on launching a lending platform, to kind of compete with others in the space. For the main reason that, just like I said, like community comes after us and says, hey, build this thing. Based off of like feedback from other things that they've used. And I've also used lending, big fan of it, for certain models. Other models I think are terrible. But yeah, realistically, I mean, it just comes down to, what do we think will be long-term sustainable for both sides on a P2P transaction? And are there inefficiencies in the current systems? Can they be improved? Can we be the ones to improve it? And I think the answer to that is yes. That's probably true for almost like most other tools that we don't already have. But this has just been something where a lot of people have bugged us enough to the point of we're like, let's go to the drawing board. Let's see what makes sense. Like, can we put this together?
That's good.
So I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited for. I have a lot of liquidity ready to launch. We're, gonna throw some level of liquidity from what we already have on our project into it as well. It's kind of a win-win for us as a whole. But kind of beyond that, I'm really curious. Like, I think we're in this like royalty enforcement meta. I'm gonna call it that for the next give or take 3 months. We'll see how that kind of transpires, what opportunities that creates within the market as a whole, what it might kind of, who might kind of also like upset, based off of like communities and stances that communities take based off of it. And once we get beyond that, like what can we, what's the next thing we think people would be very interested in using outside of the tools that we already have, right? The good part is like token market already exists. If we have to improve it, we'll improve it. But if whitelist token, whitelist meta kicks back up, we've already got the tool for it. We've already got the infrastructure set up, and we're very efficient with it. Same thing for Raffles, same thing with CoinFlip, same thing with Foxy Send, Foxy Share, getting all these things. We already have them in place, so it's just a matter of when that meta comes back around, as I expect they will. We're already in a solid position to take advantage of it. I mean, when it comes through, of making it better and amplifying it. So.
And that's good because you always have like a synergy between your tools too, right? Like you build like a different tool that works together and like multiply the efficiency of like your whole platform, which is cool. And one tool market for the next one too, right? Because like, okay, I'm going for like on my mission for staking, and then I can find the Foxy Swap and et cetera, and discovering everything like that. It's kind of interesting for sure.
Yeah, and even with like missions as an example, so like if you own certain things, right? If we set up a mission that it's for 2 headband foxes, and you only have 1 headband fox, we have Foxy Lend built into it, which is just within like the mission ecosystem. That's not our actual lending platform, where you can borrow other foxes for missions based off of what people put them in there as offers for. So, there's just like you said, different synergies that we have. That's more for the fun gamified side. But even on the other side, we have Raffles set up. We have our token market, so you can go to token market and get whatever you want for it. We've integrated Jupiter as well to be able to just do a swap if you're going from Sol to whatever, or whatever to Sol, in order to purchase tickets from there. And and just like just different ways that we have like that general synergy between things. A lending platform would bode well for like a little bit of everything. Depending on how people want to go about it. If you do a loan and it defaults on you and you get the NFT, you can throw it in a raffle if you want to raffle it off and try to make back your money plus some profit or something along those lines. So it'll be a very decent like ecosystem as a whole. You could look at it as kind of like being centralized, but it's more so like a platform with an experience and all that you can do within it. So it just depends on how you kind of want to look at it.
I mean, like you used like the Foxy universe, right, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of like I wouldn't call us a layer 1, but I mean we kind of almost are. Within the NFT ecosystem, based off of what we have, I'd say we have enough there to kind of compare us to a protocol or a layer 1 like within the space.
Yeah, that's cool. And like, is there any way like or any plans to go into like the B2B and working for project, like developing tool for project, or is that something you don't want to explore for XYZ reason?
We've done like a little bit of B2B, but we're not like I guess it really depends on how you go about it, right? Like our team is quite small, and depending on like the efforts that are required for whatever that relationship is, because I think when it comes down to B2B efforts, especially on like a specific scale that the ecosystem needs, it's definitely a lot of hand holding. It's definitely a lot of like research for people, and we've got plenty of data and all that fun stuff that we can provide. But it really comes down to making sure that we can provide the needs for like said party, and not just try to, I'll say, take advantage of a system because we're expecting a certain amount of growth from a business standpoint and all that fun stuff in the ecosystem. So we've done things for projects, again, from like an onboarding of tokens. We kind of look at that as almost being a B2B model, especially with like Raffle, the auction with Flip. Like we onboard tokens for that. We do charge for it, but collections as a whole, like we want to again enable them. We have just requirements around what they do. As far as like secondary volume and like kind of like unique holders and the size of the collection and all that fun stuff. So we make exceptions for people, but for the most part, it's like pretty strict, and it's just to make again like a stronger tool and a stronger like ecosystem around it, rather than just onboarding every collection and having it just be I think someone had termed like shitcoin dumpster. That's true. That some of our accounts turn into like just because which is just part of the gig that goes with it.
But that's interesting. And I'm thinking about like, is there a way like to make like a mission community, the mission, like someone in the community or in the Fox community can create a mission for the other people and they can get reward for that? That could be cool. Or a project to create a mission and then you stack your Foxy and then you have like prizes.
People have asked us for a white label solution on missions. It becomes like a little bit complicated, and I think like just based off the other efforts that we've had, we haven't like I'll say spent the time and resources towards building that out. But I do see a world in which like that becomes like a decent white labeled tool because at its absolute core, having some level of gamified staking. Just adding in like that experience, right? Like, I don't know if you remember, it was Honey DeFi or something along those lines. Where like
there's a lot of product Honey something.
But different projects could like just stake their project through Honey to earn Honey token or whatever. It's something similar to that, but like on a different, more complicated capacity. I would say too that like the pNFT standard like make that a little bit more complicated. I mean, to kind of create that as a tool. But yeah, I'd never say never. I think it just depends on what the current space demands and based off what people want. So
100%. But like like when you asked me like if I was like familiar with it, like mission is my like go-to on Sunday. As soon as like I see the announcement drop in the server, I'm connecting my ledger and do, am I going to get some chest already? And yes, like then I get okay. Like last Sunday I got like 2 soul out of like four chests. I say, that's a good Sunday, bro.
Yeah, that's not bad, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's an active way that we give back to the community. I mean, that's one of the it's one of the efforts that we've created. Like we use Questive to create these quests weekly for folks to kind of like tweet out about the rewards and stuff they get from chests. But that's one of the ways that I think most people don't even understand exists for Foxes, even though they see it probably every single week. Because it's an active system. It's not passive income.
And it increases the stickiness of like the apps that you're coming back like every week, and it increases it. Yeah, exactly. It's good.
You set up a routine. Saturday you come in, you claim your chest, you restake your Fox. Sunday you launch them back out for hopefully for them to getting chests next week. Maybe you do a chest opening party on Saturday, or if they want to open them on Sunday.
I should do live. I should do stream live. Oh no, but I have to like the chests are going away after the 16th February, right?
Yeah. So I talk about that a little bit too. So we're redefining the structure in which like the rewards are going to go out, and so it's just to make it scalable with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 Foxes for both FFF and TFF. So the current chests as they are, like when you get them, definitely use them up. Because on the 16th we'll transition to the new chests that exist. It is only for normal mission chests. Raid chests will stay as is for right now.
Okay.
We're not doing anything with that. But yeah, it's a very good point to bring up. That the chests will be changed and to definitely open them up before the 16th. So you can still do a live party before the 16th.
Yes, bro, that's content, man.
Yeah. You could probably, I don't even know. Chests are going for what, like 0.4 soul right now. I mean, you could probably buy like 20 chests and just do like a chest opening party. I mean, that'd be fun.
Yes. Oh.
If I get some rare chests between now and whenever you set that up, I'll open up some rare chests with you.
Well, we can do it like a farewell party for the chest or like the reorganization on the 16th or something, no?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean,
just be fun.
I wouldn't do. Let's do it on the 15th, not the 16th, because the 16th, we'll be cutting it close. I'll at least like remind people.
You have 5 minutes to open everything. Let's go.
Use up your chests now before they go away. Exactly.
That's good. Oh yeah, but maybe it will also increase the price of the chest. Like if people want to liquidate. Oh, that's interesting.
In theory, the chest price should go infinite on the 15th because if it doesn't, they're just gonna, become a potato after. So
well, that's good. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna set up that after the live. I like that. It's cool. Great content idea, man. You should be a content creator, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have some good ideas. I have a lot more bad ideas for content creation, so I'll leave that up to others for now. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen, but I'm on like the podcast with Brian Jun and Paul
Yes.
Kim called Shots
Yes.
Fired now, but we've done a few different episodes, so
Mhm.
that's been a very fun and interesting
Yeah.
an interesting podcast endeavor.
Yeah, and I saw like a couple of like nice sentences and punchline that couldn't be make like that can make like a nice shorts.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes in there. We had Frank pop on the 1 week from
Yeah.
DeGods. We had Lieutenant Lollipop and DJ and Tim. Last week
Mm.
we had Anton from Sharky. So it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
having it. And I think too, I mean, it's helpful for people to have like a person-to-person
Yes.
connection and to,
Okay.
just chat with people. I mean, even our like VCs that we have weekly, it's Audible and we host it in
Mm-hmm.
portals, but like it's still not exactly like this, right? It's still not
Mm.
exactly like a face-to-face kind of conversation, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I mean, for me, like, there is a clear distinction between like stream like that and Twitter Spaces when you can like you make like people like jump on stage more easily than a stream like that. Like, for to do that, I need to drop the link in the audience, etc. And then like camera quality, sound quality will not be that crazy great, and we will see like people in front of their phone. So that's that could be well. But like the on space, like yeah, just use your phone and
Wherever
talk
you
and
want.
interact with the founders. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
And
I'm
yeah,
like even for me, like right now, you'll notice that I'm not in my same spot that I do the other podcast. That's just because my room is above where the baby sleeps. So if I'm gonna do anything
oh,
audible, I have to
yeah,
go like all the way to the other end of the house because the last thing I want to
yeah,
do is wake up our baby. So
yes,
so that's the other complicated thing with a video
yeah,
chat is like now you see me in a different environment as compared to where I'm normally at. So I have to make sure
that's
that
so
I
good.
have my stuff kind of set up. And also the comment in there for the big house flex. My house is 1,800 square feet. It's not huge. It's just long, so I have to like make sure I'm not on top of
Yeah,
the baby. It's not a big
yeah,
house. Not here. Not by any stretch.
yeah,
At least locally.
yeah. That's good. Where are you based?
I'm not too far from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, nice, 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 nice.
How
Great.
about yourself?
So I'm French, but like I'm living in Malta,
Okay.
which is like cool. Yeah, no, it's good. It's great. Like sorts of like Mediterranean. It's good. It's good. It's like I love the island lifestyle. Even if like we get like some power cuts and with like the tsunami in Turkey, like not the tsunami, but like the earthquake in Turkey, like
Mm-hmm.
it can have some repercussion in Malta too. So that's gonna be it could be crazy. But yeah, other than that, it's really really great, great lifestyle. Like I love to just going to the office to exactly that's what we're doing. Going to boxing so a couple of times and that's it. Living
No,
the
that's
danger life. Yeah, it's great.
living the DGen life. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you mentioned a couple of times, like the pNFT, and even like we can talk about like xNFT because like yeah, again, like you have a technical profile that could be interesting to go deep into that. Yeah, so programmables NFT, right? Like it's coming soon. Like I see Sharky talking about like making a thread about it. Yeah, what's your take? Do you see like a revolution, like or like a new step of the NFT with that kind of NFT that's gonna be implemented, or yeah, what's your general vision on that on the
Yeah,
pNFTs?
yes. Yeah, I was gonna say we probably could spend an hour on this too, so I'll try to keep it relatively brief. And I wouldn't necessarily say like harping on it, but I've been like talking about it too. So first off, shout out to Anton from Sharky. He's put great information together, and he is doing like
Mm-hmm.
a lot from a coordinated effort for trying to get creators and protocols alike to like get more of this information. As I think like that's probably one of the biggest challenges here is just making sure that everybody has like the information that's digestible. And
Yeah.
I don't think like that's entirely true like in its current state. But it's the best that it's going to be for right now. It's the best that we have. Programmable NFTs like as a whole essentially is migrating like the current NFT standard as it exists into a different standard in which there are like other states that an NFT can have. And based off of those states, different programs would interact with that NFT differently. So like, just as an example, like they're not putting restrictions on transfer. So you could do a wallet to wallet transfer if you wanted to. You could send me an NFT if you wanted to. If we wanted to agree with like an underground OTC trade, and I could send you SOL or whatever, they're not blocking that kind of stuff. It more so is like program based, where, you know, if there's a program that someone's interacting with and SOL's transferred and the NFT is transferred, then if the NFT is a pNFT and it says that it has to be enforced with royalties, then you have to pay royalties in order for that transaction to take place. It's way more complex than that, but at its core, it just adds in a different, it adds in multiple states that an NFT can have, and just different ways that the program itself would have to interact with the NFT based off of that. It makes it more complex for certain things. As an example, lending, or really not even lending, but for a transaction, you have to identify where the NFT is going when SOL is being transferred in order for like it to be able to take place. So you can't put an offer in and someone else accept it because you don't know who is going to accept it. So there's different things that have to be improved with that system. But at its absolute core, like it's just a way that creators can have more control over where their NFTs are traded. And the way in which it's rolled out with pNFTs, current owners of those NFTs don't have to do anything, with the exception of current collections that are immutable because they can't be changed. So like Degen Ape Academy as an example, like you'll have to burn your Degen Ape in order to get whatever the pNFT version is. So there has to be some motivation to do it. Does it make the original, you know, one that's immutable, non-PNFT, like more valuable? Like a lot of these questions are just kind of up in the air for it. But once that pNFT transition happens, then collectors have the collections, the owners of collections have the option of either going with an allow list to then say what programs can interact with their NFTs, which is, in my opinion, the worst option. The primary reason it's the worst option is if anybody else wants to compete in the space, they then have to not only abide by the standards to possibly become on this default allow list, but they'll also, I mean, if that's not the case, they'll have to go to every single collection to say, hey, we have this program, we honor royalties, can you allow list our program? You know, and if that's another marketplace, if that's another, you know, insert whatever tool you want to that possibly would have a use case in AMM, a lending platform, a raffle platform, or whatever, like these all would have to go to every single collection if they're not put in this default list to say, add our program to your NFTs. And it, in my opinion, it'll just become it'll just add so much friction that developers aren't going to be interested in trying to create in an ecosystem like that. So then the better option, in my opinion, and again, this is coming from me, not from Famous Foxes, is a deny list. And in a deny list, you can flat out, like, you can see where your NFTs are going. Sharky actually had worked with Hello Moon to create a very useful tool so that way you can see where all your NFTs are, what programs. But if, let's just say, you know, a marketplace is not honoring royalties and you know, it's for your collection and your collection is getting traded on there, you can add that marketplace to your deny list, and now no one can transact on it unless that marketplace switches to add royalty enforcement to it. And then if they do, then you know, remove that collection from the deny list. So it gives a lot more control to creators of really kind of just holding the option of like, should my collection be on your platform or not? And if they're doing anything that's sus that you're not happy with, add them to the deny list. You know, if you're not happy with Foxy Swap, if Foxy Swap has taken away a large amount of your trades, you know, and it's not benefiting the community more than what the, you know, trade-off is for royalties, add Foxy Swap to, you know, your deny list, and you don't have to worry about it.
But why is why is that important for like to have that kind of features? Because the Cobb can say in chat, like it taking away like the decentralization part of and again, like you mentioned it with the whitelist, right? It take away part of the decentralization of the Web3 industry. And if I have a collection and I want people to pay royalties, but there is a way at the protocol level to not pay it, like it's by design, right? So I understand that we try to implement a new blueprint to like trade, etc. But at the end of the day, if my holders don't want to pay royalties because it's too high, or like like they don't see the value in that in a way, and then I need to find another solution to generate revenue for my company, right? That's because
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is, I agree with you 100%. Foxes, by the way, we're not planning on migrating over to the pNFT standard. We're one of the few collections, even from the top, that's not planning on migrating over to this pNFT standard, because at its absolute core, right, you have to figure out what's like the real problem here. And again, this isn't coming from Foxes. This is saying from an ecosystem standpoint, what's the real problem? And what are we trying to fix with this standard? Like, is it going to be a net positive for a project? The answer to that is I have no idea. You know, is it going to generate more royalty revenue for a project? Most likely, yes. If you switch to a pNFT standard, you're most likely going to generate more royalty revenue for that collection. Is that temporary? Is that long term? Will people then just pay royalties and fuck off? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. You know, so I think, I mean, and at its core too, like the one thing that's interesting, and I'm glad you brought it up, is that I think the term decentralization, especially in like the NFT sector, isn't very well like understood in my opinion. So like in theory, NFT collections are very centralized. The collection, the collection owner itself, I mean, they're the update authority. They can do whatever they want. They can delete all the pictures. You know what I mean? Like you can do whatever you want with it. It's centralized from that standpoint as a project, which, if you want to look at it, I mean, it depends on how deep you want to go into the weeds, is like to the centralization standpoint. But it's entirely true. Like if whatever collection rugs, I mean, the one that I know Gwei will get a kick out of here, one of our foxes in the chat, was Hot Spring Apes, where they if you listed below a 1 sol floor price, I think it was, and they mint, there was a degen mint. I don't even know if it was 0.1 sol or less than 0.1 sol, but if you listed it less than 1 sol, they had these periods of turning everyone's NFT into a banana. And it became hilarious, but people don't realize, like, okay, the creator is changing your NFT because they have the ability to do so. So it really is no different from that. I think if anything, looking at like the pNFT standard, it gives more control to creators to be able to tell platforms like your actions are negative, you know, towards that collection or towards the ecosystem at a greater scale. Does it also then possibly say that certain project founders or collections might be a little tone deaf to the ecosystem? 100%. You know, I would be remiss if I would say that it's purely on the platforms. You know, I'm not going to say we're on this soapbox and everyone else, you know, isn't as great as what we are, or anything like that. Like, that's absolutely not true. But from its absolute core, you know, there are just different ways of improving the system, and there's different ways of destroying the system. And, you know, time will only tell how much this actually does improve it. But what I will say this, and I'll put this out there as a caveat, any collection that migrates to the pNFT standard, if over time it does seem that it's more of a problem than a solution, they can remove these rule sets and it look like a regular NFT. So
they can do exactly what they want, right?
But it could be just like it is now, you know, or prior to this being enforced, just based off of what what collections actually want and what the ecosystem actually demands. Like, I think that's the one thing that's very important, is that projects that do this and don't do this should watch how the community responds, and to take that as good feedback to move forward. I think that that's critical really for the long-term success of NFTs and what they are just going to, essentially become in the future. So I think it's critical.
And what would be like the benefit to the holders for a collection to move to pNFT? Is there anything on that side that can be possible for the holders itself?
Benefits from the holder side. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I think from the one side, any collection that's been like, honestly, like fair, like that has decent utility. I'll say that's been hard up for royalties, but I don't mean it that way. There have been collections that have like denied access to tools if they don't pay royalties, and things along those natures. They won't have to worry about that going forward with pNFTs if they have it royalty enforced. So like that makes it a little bit easier from a collector standpoint, that you don't have to worry about it. And I mean, like realistically, there's still going to be ways to like do different things, so like transfers to wallets and all that kind of fun stuff. It's not necessarily like an advantage or like a huge plus, like from a collector standpoint. It more so is, better control for creators in the ecosystem, essentially to try and help, get past this reason for people to kind of circumvent royalties for different reasons, which I think, is honestly a pretty big thing for the space.
Yeah. And so like the pNFT or like programmables one, what about like the xNFTs, and why are we going to add every letters of the alphabet in front of NFTs?
I don't think
what
so.
we are doing now?
No, I don't think so. xNFTs are executable NFTs.
Yes.
Quite a bit different. They are. I'm fascinated by them. By the way, we have a few. So Backpack is the main driver for xNFTs. Essentially, an xNFT, if you want to look at it as a dApp, you can look at it as a dApp, decentralized application. They're native to Backpack. We have, I think, 3: Foxy Swap, Raffle, and Foxy Send, I believe. We have all 3 of those. And it's just a way, so like I do see a future where we become more mobile than we already are within NFTs. So I think Backpack is positioning themselves to be kind of a leader in that place. And with that, all of the xNFTs that are within Backpack will just be more easy to use, in a very convenient spot. If you want to look at it as like an app store for, an iPhone or an Android, it just makes life easier. And your wallet is within your Backpack. There's different ways you could do linkages, like for Twitter and such, like it's already kind of built in. I think they're working on a native browser, if I'm not mistaken. That might not be the case, but it just makes life easier. And if you have a wallet that has DeGods in it, and it's got foxes in it, and it's got cats in it, and it's got whatever, you can just go to their dApp, and then, whatever stakes or whatever missions are live, you can just jump in there, do whatever you want, close out of it, go to the next one, do whatever you want, in a mobile experience that's way more streamlined than sitting at your computer or doing all these things. I still get like a little bit worried in general for like the safety security side with mobile, but I do think that it's definitely a big stride forward with regard to NFTs and like the mobility of them within like mobile and all that kind of fun stuff. So
that's interesting. And how far away are we going, like, from those xNFT to go to full mass adoption in terms of Solana community, right? Like the vast majority of people are using xNFTs.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I don't know if, and I don't know. Do you determine like a higher percentage being 51%, or a higher percentage being like 80%, 90%?
Let's start with 51. Yeah,
let's start with 51%. I think conservatively I'd say within probably a year, you'll probably get to 51%. I think what'll end up happening is that in the next bull market, like that will probably get reduced only because we'll be onboarding more people into the ecosystem. They're going to want to do the desktop computer like more safety field.
Yes.
So in my opinion, prior to getting into mobile, but then you'll kind of go in these ebbs and flows for people kind of getting more on board into mobile experiences. Again, I just think that long term will be a more sustainable model for people just based off of ease of use, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say within a year. I'd probably say within a year.
That's cool. And I mean, like, if we talk about mobile, what's your take about like the Solana mobile phone? The Solana phone.
With Saga. I'm
Saga,
interested. With Saga, I'm interested. I'm very curious to like get one and play around with it, just again to see from an experience standpoint how I like it. I think it's a very challenging market if I were to just throw that out there. And this isn't throwing shade at anyone. I think it's a very solid position for blockchain as a whole to kind of have this level of like an opportunity within the space. And I'm long-term like bullish on the concept of breaking into that area. I think it's been kind of stagnant. I think there's only been two options, Apple or Android, basically. And I think there is going to be more interest long-term for an easier connection or a less friction path, if you will, with crypto and with everything that we do in general. Mobile phones being one of the largest things that I think everybody uses every day. So I'm pretty bullish on the concept. I'm very curious to see how the execution goes. But yeah, I think it should be pretty fun.
Like, that's gonna be pretty fun, 100%. Yeah, like the highest challenge will be, okay, am I going to take my Saga phone or am I going out with my iPhone? Like, what's gonna be the user behavior with that?
Or are you gonna get rid of your iPhone and just use the Saga?
If they are able to do that, this is massive. Like, if they're able to make me ditch my iPhone to a Saga phone, I don't believe it myself as of today.
Not yet. And I agree with you. On that.
Yeah. But if we see like project like again, I saw like DreamOS or something, another project like creating an operating system where it's like gonna embed like NFTs natively, etc., having the wallet on your operating system. If we see like a phone with all of the push by Solana, etc., if they're going into that kind of industries, that's good. That's great. That's massive. But that means like a billion of people need to use the Saga phone and the OS, DreamOS or whatever.
I was gonna say, I think their first run is what, like 20,000-ish. Like, I don't think they're. I mean, it's not. I think they're kind of testing the waters with it. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Where if you're able to convert, I mean, even a fraction of those percentages of people to use Saga natively compared to what they've been using, massive change for the space.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like the next years in Web3 NFTs industry, it's gonna be fascinating. Like it's right now. That's what I was like saying in like the previously, because I'm excited about this industry. Like right now, like it's the best time like to launch a project, learn about everything you can about NFTs and Web3, etc. Because like the next 10 years, it's gonna be fascinating. We're gonna make like giant step into like and all of the tech that you can see like at the same time, like pushing like AI and like ChatGPT, like Midjourney, etc. All of that, and plus like the energy and big brains and money you can see in like crypto and especially NFTs like last year. All of those people working for 10 years on the new industry, that's the beginning of internet. Like at that scale of like events in our lifetime, so cool.
It's so cool too. And then add on top of it, right? Elon Musk, everything that he's doing, the possible exploration of Mars. I mean, what other point in history has ever been even close to what we
Yeah.
currently have going on.
No,
You know,
100%.
to what extent is it like, is certain things more positive than negative? Like, I don't know, ChatGPT and OpenAI, I'm very curious to see if that's like a net positive from a human standpoint or a net negative. You know, because I think from like, I think there's a lot to be said for critical thinking. I think there's just so much involved to it with regard to
Yeah.
like human beings as a whole, where if you really like remove that element, I get a little worried. I'll be honest with you.
But
I was talking with a friend about it the other day, where we're like, yeah, like based off of like our age range and maybe like a 20-year span, right? You kind of have people born before that had this same technology come out, right? Dial-up internet, you know, broadband to gigabit. I mean, like you had that whole evolution, but they still, you know, not as a whole, but a good portion of them aren't interested in it. And it's like 2023, and it's like been ingrained in like all of our culture over the past, I mean, 3 decades plus. And then you have people like kind of after our age range that are just so dependent on it, from like a TikTok perspective, from a Facebook perspective, and a likes and all these things. You know, it just takes away like a bit of like that human interaction and really puts like this dependency on tech as a whole. You have like both spans, and then this like 20-year period of people having to figure shit out, you know, and then learn with the whole curve and stay on top of it as we do. And I find that fascinating, like, you know, from a human standpoint.
No, 100%. But like in 50 years, like the generation older than us will not, like everyone will be native. Like you will have the first like 80 person like will be born with internet, right? So like the paradigm shift of like thinking about that, it will be massive. Like one day you will have like the US president who will be a Bitcoiner, or maybe the like, and that advancement in tech and like way of thinking, it will be massive. And also what I like with Web3 is like the ownership of your wallet, but of your NFT, or like but like also the ownership of like the decision you're making every day, right? Like in a way, like you learn that if you get drained, it's because you click on the wrong link, right? So is that your fault? In a way, probably, because like you didn't know that like you didn't take like enough security measure to protect your asset too, right? Obviously, like you can have targeting advice, etc., and you have like high crypto profile get drained too. So like, but like on average, like on what you don't know, it can basically not kill you in crypto, but like cause you damage. So you have the ownership of learning and like use the right tools and make the one more step that will protect you and like push you into the right direction. And in a way that will also impact your daily life. Then that mentality can push you to do exactly like, I don't know, like going to the gym more often so you stay healthy a longer time in your life. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really say that the society is like, making it's because of the society that you are not XYZ, but like the ownership of your direction of your life is because of you, right? And you are the actor of that. And if you don't use the tools that we are seeing right now, you're missing out, and you're gonna be leveraged by the guy who is ChatGPT since 5 years. And when you try to compete for the next job, to be like if you want to be writer, and one writer is using ChatGPT to increase his essay and book, but you don't. Is that fair? Probably not. But like, you're like it, right? So then you take ownership of your decision and what you do with the tools that you have, because it's here anyway. So it's too late to not use them, right?
Yeah, and to not even know they exist, and to be naive to say like, oh, you know, that's not going to benefit me or whatever. I mean, it's just learning about the tool and using what you have. I mean, even you know, to go into, you know, the NFT realm. I mean, us having like Foxy Swap as an example, like we still see people that get these scammers that say, oh, there's an error that comes up, and they're like, let's just do it via, a middleman friend or whatever, and they go through this whole thing. It's like, there's nothing wrong with the tool. You have the access to the Discord, to us, to support, to be like, hey, I think there's a problem with the tool, and people will literally say, no, you're getting scammed. Like, that's just how it works. And even in crypto too, like, getting wallet drained, an easy step is buying a ledger, spend the $100-some for it. Bite that bullet if you want to call it a bullet. Yes, it adds a level of security between you and all the things you're interacting with. But guess what? Depending on how large of a profile you have, portfolio, it's worth the risk. Why risk what you have for not using it? Like, that's the craziest part to me. So I don't disagree with anything you said. I completely, tools that exist out there, learn about them, don't use them, that's fine, but at least understand what they are. If you can play around with them, try to leverage them. And, like you said, it can only give you an advantage in the future, at least for knowing what not to do, or knowing what to do, using those tools. So
that's why, back to the main sentence of that is, like, the years to come in this industry, and even like at global scale in the world, will be like fascinating to follow. And I'm so happy that we are actor of it in a way, like in a small portion of it, because we're building cool stuff on Solana, man.
And how many people are doing that, right? I mean,
exactly.
if you think about it at a large scale, right? Let's say there's 100,000, 200,000 people that are trading, in Solana NFTs. That's like a blip on the map compared to the entire world. And then scale it back to actual projects. Someone had said there's like 15,000 projects. How many of which are like actually relevant? And then take how many people are on each team for the top, 1,500 projects. What do you have? 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people? It's tiny.
It's nothing
in comparison. So it is a blast
we are
to be a part of it.
We are early.
That's the constant meme. But it just depends. We'll see how the future really goes with it. And I don't disagree with you. We're definitely early. It's just trying to figure out what the future, holds in tail for crypto. So
100%. I mean, we should do an episode 2 anytime soon, man. Because we are just over 1 hour, and man, we haven't started.
We haven't started. No,
I'm joking.
But realistically,
that's
you're great to talk to. This is fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I return you the compliment. Great guest, man. A great show, man.
Yeah. This is awesome.
That's great. So I guess we can start to wrap it up, but I still have a couple of questions to conclude the show. What's the question that you wish people would ask you but they never do?
Question that I wish people would ask me but they never do. I don't know. I mean, I would. So. Probably going back a few months, I probably, would be more on a human side of just asking how you're doing, or how's your family and stuff like that. But recently, a lot of people have been very personable, which is quite fun. So at the end of it,
effect.
and I think it's a good thing to think about too for a lot of people, is that on the end of all these PFPs and name tags and all that kind of stuff, they're real people. So it's, we're not robots, even though the amount of hours we put in probably look like it. So, checking in with your fellow co-founders, your fellow, community members and community managers and whitelist seekers and all that kind of fun shit, I think is a good thing to do for people.
Nice. So every Foxers watching this stream, every day ask how Draxxts is going. That's what he wants.
No, not every day.
Every 2 days.
Every 2 days.
And the other question is this one is for me. Which guest should I invite on the podcast? And you can do the introduction.
And I could do the introduction?
Yeah, or like I can, yeah, because that's an easy step, but I can like reach to them. But which guest should I get on?
I'll apologize because I don't know. How many shows have you done so far?
Oh, 15 maybe. 15? I will send you the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
15's pretty good.
Yeah. In amounts.
Yeah, and I mean, and you do. I mean, it's obviously done like a video fashion. Are you looking specifically for like founders of projects?
Yeah, like content creators, founders, but yeah, that kind of people, and NFT lovers.
Yeah, I don't know if he would do it, but I'm gonna throw this to Shill and Villain, Alex. I don't know if
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've.
That could be interesting.
First off, I don't know too if you'd be interested. I know he does a lot of these video posts and things on Twitter.
Nice.
And hides behind it. He's absolutely awesome to talk to on Twitter. I think he would probably be a pretty solid video chat. He might even offer to bring you out to Taiwan to do a recording live there. If that's interesting. I don't know how far that would be for you.
That would be cool. Man, for live with him, that would be cool. Like I can travel to Taiwan if it's required. That would be cool.
Yeah. So I'll throw it to Shill and Villain and Alex. I'm a huge fan of his. So
nice. Okay, that's okay. If we can make that happen, that would be fantastic. But yeah, that's it. That's how we can wrap it up the show. Do you have anything to say like to the foxes that are in the chat, or like anything at all to say to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, probably just start off with Plat. I think as like an insider joke with our platypodes.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, I really appreciate our community. I think it's the best that's out there. And I appreciate them from showing up every single day. We're fucking grinding, we're building fun shit, we're here for them. And I'm always available as well. So if anybody ever has questions, wants to reach out, thinks we can do something better, wants to just tell me to go fuck off, I'm here for it. And let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go, man. Thank you so much for allocate this time for the show. That was a great cast, man. Really happy to have you here. And yeah, again, we're gonna do an episode 2 talking about 1 hour about pNFTs, another hour about xNFTs. That's gonna be great.
and probably a half-hour show to do some DGen chest opening. Don't forget that.
Yes. Okay. We need to schedule that. I need to. Yes. We're gonna do that, man. I'm gonna sweep like the chess floor.
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. Like you can share screen on this, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's okay. Yes, I can screen share. We can do it. We can do a chest opening together.
Okay. I think
on the 15 then. 100%. Okay, chat. Thank you so much for watching, everyone on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the Decod3rs channel because again, it's going to be mandatory to our upcoming mint. It's you subscribe to it, but that's also like it's community owned, so it's also your channel. So thank you for that. And Draxxts, we'll see you next week for the chest opening live. And again, thank you so much. And everyone, all the foxers, we're gonna see you in the Discord chat. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Thanks for having me.